University of Washington before going on to the ABA, playing for the Virginia Squires and the Denver Nuggets.
Cost a little extra money for tickets tonight. Has a gathering here this evening, and kind of anxious to meet some of his former teammates who came out tonight to meet him.
Had to round up 20 to 25 tickets for tonight's game. Here's Stackhouse. Gary Stackhouse giving the Pistons a 17-16 lead. George Irvin, a third-round draft pick of the Virginia Squires back in 1970. That's an offensive foul at charge on Barry. And then George did some color commentary in Denver, despite working with Al Albert. Moved on to the coaching ranks, as you see the charging foul on Brent Barry.
Well, what Detroit did is they came out of the timeout and said, if we score, we're going to pick up full court and extend our defense. George would rather play a compact, tight, solid man-to-man defense, but he realizes that they're not an overpowering team as far as strength and size. Don't have that big guy in the middle down low. So as a result, they may have to jump it up, as he says, every once in a while, and to produce a turnover that time just by going after Seattle.
Stackhouse fouled by Barry, so consecutive fouls by Brent Barry, one at the offensive end and then at the defensive end
per game.
And Vernon Maxwell has checked in for the first time. Detroit showing some pressure. Rashard Lewis, who just checked in, gets it out to Maxwell, wasting no time firing one up.
Well, they got their opportunity. They got the shot that they wanted. They had Seattle out of their half-court offense. The thing is, now you have to come up with rebounds. Not a strength of Detroit rebounding the basketball.
Here's Baker, and he was hit by Mills.
And that's what they're trying to do, is get Seattle out of the half-court stuff where they're going to pound it down inside against Mills by scrapping and
Easton, and then it'll be the Spurs and the Blazers all next Tuesday night. With the ball back to Seattle. Gary Payton and Vernon Maxwell now in the backcourt. Vernon Maxwell has made it back from the arthroscopic knee surgery, playing about 20 minutes per game. Still hurting, playing through the injury. Shot clock down to 7. Horace Grant. Yes. And the Sonics lead 20-19.
Horace, so effective shooting the ball from the top of the circle area. A little bit left, a little bit right, but that's the spot that he loves to shoot from. Get him off on the side, he's not quite as effective.
Rashard Lewis called for the holding foul. Non-shooting foul, 13th foul on Seattle, and George Irvin will talk it over. Timeout taken, 3:21.
Who's on defense can lead to easy scores. Christian Laettner getting a piece of the ball, comes up with it, and then the outlet pass, and Hill's going to find his buddy Stackhouse for the finish. Again, Hill this time kicks it a little bit, finds a handle, picks it up, and again, the finish by Stackhouse. On the other end, Patterson comes up with a defensive play, finishes off with the dunk, and then Gary Payton could have gone coast to coast, but we didn't have time to show him.
What you're saying is visualizing.
I was visualizing. Yeah, I saw him doing it.
Sonics by 1 as we come up on 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Rashard Lewis, who has been getting lots of playing time, second-year man. He's only 20 years old, made the jump right out of high school, and a holding foul. That was a backdoor play. Lewis debating the call with Dick, but
he steps it up.
Paul said what he likes about Rashard Lewis is that he does defer to his elders. Traveling violation is called. Rashard showing the proper respect. I don't know if he's talking about the coaching staff or the older players on the team.
Horace Grant's.
Right. Sonics with a 3-point advantage as we come up on 2.5 remaining in the first quarter. This is the second of our TNT doubleheader earlier tonight at Conseco Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. Pacers beat the Knicks 95-91. Here's Baker. And the rebound is handled by Jerome Williams, who just came on, along with John Crotty. Nice ball movement. Maxwell. Payton backs it to 3-point territory. And the tip by Grant. Horace Grant. At 8:01 for Seattle. They lead by 5.
And Seattle up 11-6 on the board right now. It's been a problem on a regular basis. You know, obviously, the loss of Delhi has really hurt the Pistons as far as big man inside.
Bryson Gale, who Seattle tried to, rather Detroit tried to convince to play this season. If Maxwell is able to hit, but he said he just did not want to play any basketball. And the Los Angeles Lakers at one point also trying to convince him to play. Phil Jackson had him in Chicago. Here's Williams. Jerome Williams, who comes off his 20th double-double, had 12 points, 11 rebounds off the bench the other night against Vancouver. Sonics lead 26-21. They double up on Payton. Open shot for Baker. A loose ball foul.
Well, Grant Hill knew that Patterson had inside position for the offensive rebound. So rather than try and get around, what Hill tried to do is box him under the backboard. Push the man behind the backboard. The ball hopefully will come out over his head into your hands. A little too much push that time by Grant.
Each team with 4 team fouls. Maxwell and Payton at the guards. Grant, Baker, Patterson up front. We are just under 1 minute left in the first. Payton. And Hill with a nice move to elude Payton off the dribble. Eric Montross has come on for the first time. Here's Crotty from deep. And deflected out by Payton. It will be Detroit ball. The Detroit Pistons playing the second of a 5-game road trip. Tomorrow night they'll be in Portland, then games at Sacramento, and they finish up against the LA Clippers. George Irvin, who was a head coach for a period with the Indiana Pacers, but for the most part a long-time assistant. Montross is fouled. Payton making contact. Oh, they called it the other way. Gary Payton applauding the call. At first, he thought it was against him, but it's Montross, in trying to get the ball back, was called for the foul.
Well, right there, reaching in for the steal, Montross grabs Payton's arm as Payton goes to take off on the dribble. Grab of the arm, can't do it.
And that is team foul number 5 committed by the Pistons. So Payton at the line. Gary Payton last week in Vancouver had a 40-point game. That was one shy of his career high. Also had 11 assists in that game. He had a 41-point game earlier this season in mid-February against the Wizards. And as we mentioned at the start, he has been on a roll as of late.
Well, half-court trap by Seattle, trying to get the ball out of Crotty's hands. Everyone else steps up in the passing lanes, going for the steal.
Curry coming up short. Hill with the rebound. Hill again. With time running down, Grant Hill able to hit. 5-point Sonic lead. 5 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Here's Grant for 3. Payton trying to draw the foul. No call made. And that's the end of the first quarter here at Key Arena in Seattle. Jerry Stackhouse leading the Pistons with 10 points, 6 apiece for Payton, Baker, Grant, and Patterson. After one, it's the Sonics, 5-5. We'll be back in a moment.
Kevin is a brilliant attorney, but his...
Hello? Yeah, where are you?
No.
Excuse me, I'm working. It's your opera and I'm gonna catch a red eye tonight. Yeah. That's right. What? Ah!
Stay in touch without disturbing anyone with two-way paging and email from SkyTel, the first name in advanced messaging.
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Back in Seattle, the Sonics with a 28-23 lead on the Detroit Pistons. The man to my right, a suntanned Czar, who spent the last couple of days in Phoenix working TBS last night, as we mentioned earlier, going back-to-back. Teaming up last night with Kevin Calabro, who's the voice of the Seattle, pointing across the way. Was that what it was?
Yes, he's over there.
There is Kevin. I guess he had you over to the house earlier. You guys bonding, getting together?
No, he did not invite me. No, he did not.
There's usually the guys he works with. He
likes.
He does invite him over.
Those who perform well.
Right. All right, maybe next time. Second quarter underway. Mikey Moore out of Nebraska, who has been getting the playing time as of late. Second-year man who spent most of the season on the injury list and spent most of last year with Fort Wayne of the CBA. Timeout is called. Dick Pavetta with the indication that the timeout was called.
A little pick and roll. Crowder gets in the lane. The step up by the defensive man forces Crowder to dump it off, and Moore in the right spot at the right time. Catch and finish.
Mikey Moore, a 7-footer, goes 7 foot, 210 pounds. Appeared in 2 games with the Pistons last year after, as I said, spending a good portion of the season in the CBA.
You mentioned 210 pounds, 7 feet tall. George Irvin told us that when they played the Lakers recently, he turned to his assistant and said, "Who's guarding Shaq?" He couldn't find Moore standing behind them.
That seems to happen quite a bit around the NBA these days. There he is, Mikey Moore. 26 seconds into the second quarter. Sonics with a 3-point lead. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Carroll Miller. Here's Maxwell with the runner. And rebounded by Moore.
Moore brings him energy, plays up above the rim, can block some shots, get some offensive rebounds, has a little bit of size, which they desperately need.
Crotty trying to squeeze through, nowhere to go, and he was tied up.
Feet came down on the floor with Barry's hands on the ball before Crotty could get rid of it. Sometimes you get yourself in a position, you say, what am I doing here? What do I do now? Well, that's where John Crotty was against a much bigger, taller Barry.
And Detroit able to control the tip. Here's Crotty for 3. John Crotty in his 7th NBA season out of Virginia has tied the game at 28. Greg Foster, who just came out at the start of the second, shooting over Jerome Williams. Hill was fouled. Grant Hill went to a second gear, accelerating, and he drew the foul.
Well, Hill has a wonderful crossover, right to left especially. And Patterson that time tried to get in front of him, went a little bit too far over as Hill came back to the inside of the floor as he took off the collision and the foul on Patterson. We see right now in the substitution pattern, when George Irvin took over, he told Stackhouse and Hill that if we're going to run as much as we want to run and we're going to defend a little bit better, it's going to take a lot of energy. We may have to cut your minutes back. And he wasn't referring to what the bottom line at the end said. He was referring to how long they play stretches on the floor. He doesn't want to have both of them out of the game at the same time. Stackhouse fits, Hill plays, and then they flip-flop.
Pistons in the midst of an 8-0 run and lead by 1. Battle between Moore and Grant, and the foul is called on Moore.
Moore understand that that's not a guy you need to foul down a low post area. That is not a strength of Horace Grant's to play with his back to the basket in the low post area. He likes to face up, shoot jump shots.
Maxwell able to recover the dribble. Shot clock at 6. Barry from way downtown and off the mark.
One of those shots that you let go a little bit too soon. There still was 6 seconds on the shot clock, as you mentioned. Good time to ball fake, put the ball on the floor, get a better shot.
Crotty bet on the switch by Patterson. Now Barry guarding Hill. Grant Hill, who has really picked it up with the outside shot. In particular, from downtown.
And off the dribble as well. When you back off that much, Hill has to eventually pull up, basically daring you to shoot the jump shot.
Brett Barry whipping it too strong. Ruben Patterson able to save it. Shot clock at 10. Here's Patterson for three. Nice ball movement by the Pistons. And now have to reset. Hill played by Grant, and Barry comes over to help. Shot clock at 2. Jerome Williams somehow finding some breathing room.
Yeah, what he did is he saved Grant Hill. Grant got up in the air against the double team. It's one of those where you get up there and you're looking around saying, I hope somebody cuts to an open spot. Williams made the cut, made the catch, and the finish. They're going to run at Grant Hill every time he puts it on the floor. Here comes the double team. He gets up and at the last second drops it off. Nice catch, pump fake, finish by Jerome Williams.
To be the best takes strength, speed, endurance. The best way to cure athlete's foot has it all. Lamisil AT. Strength, full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. Speed, these take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Only Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Endurance, a study showed most users were still athlete's foot free 3 whole months later. Get it all in Lamisil AT, the best way to cure athlete's foot.
Why? It is a small word, but it is a quick, sharp, and abrupt word.
Why?
It is the chosen word of the nonconformist, the defiant, and the visionary. It is a confrontational word.
Why?
It challenges what's thought to be impossible. If you are not afraid to ask why, you can change whatever it is you want.
Dear Mr. Editor, what's going on with the cartoon department?
Oh boy, oh boy.
I'd like to have the Monday paper delivered on Monday, not on Tuesday. Yesterday you said it's going to be 60 degrees. Then when I go out, I'm freezing. Thanks for nothing. Harry, send.
Microsoft is working to develop internet software that listens. In the future, everyone will have a say. Go get 'em, Harry.
I don't think this team have taken a lot of pride in playing defense. And at key stages of the game, we lose focus and concentration on our defensive rotations, and you can't do that.
We have to remember the background here. Horace Grant comes from a system in Chicago where won world championships. He took great pride in their defense. Then he goes to Orlando with Chuck Daly, where defense was the thing that they hung their hat on basically, and winning one of the most number of games in the Eastern Conference last year with Orlando. Now over here, he's playing a little different style of play. The Seattle team 11th in the league as far as giving up points, 16th in the league in defensive field goal percentage.
And it's a 12-0 run by the Pistons. Gary Payton is back with 10 of those 12 points, with Payton getting a rest. Offensive foul. Jerome Williams taking the charge.
That was a good job by the officiating crew, because I was watching and their eyes went right to the floor to see if he was up in front of the defensive box. There's Williams. He made sure he tried to get those feet down, planted outside the dotted line before the contact took place.
Foul on Baker, his first. Roddy being played by Patterson. They double up on Hill. Nicely done. Lewis and Payton on the double, leading to the turnover.
Kind of interesting, since John Crotty has come on the floor, the Piston team has turned things around. Crotty doing an excellent job replacing Lindsey Hunter, and sometimes it's just ball movement, defensive play, small things. Hunter, if he gets it going with the three-point shot, is a weapon. Right now, the guy coming off the bench is doing the job they're asking him.
There's Patterson. Got in trouble, ran right into a crowd. Moore with the save. And here comes Crotty pushing it to Williams. Oh, Patterson with the rejection. And it will be Seattle ball.
Oh, you had a great series take place right there. The fact that Hill gave it up to Crotty in the middle, then the dish right back again, and as they come in from the left side to finish it off, a tremendous block from behind by Patterson.
4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Maxwell for 3. Vernon Maxwell from downtown. He now has 5 points. And Seattle within 2. Good play by Lewis to break it up. Here's another 3 thrown up by Maxwell. Grant Hill, the number 3 scorer in the NBA. Williams. Williams again. Jerome Williams. 5 rebounds for Williams. They call him Junkyard Dog, and they say that with affection.
You have a lot of high energy out there and guys who get up and play high above the rim. And if you watch Williams, both shoulders have tape on it. He has sore shoulders. And George Irvin said, I don't know why. He said they just hurt him.
Moore came up with a block, but Lewis right there. And the Pistons now lead 35-33. A technical foul has been charged to Vin Baker.
Well, I don't know what took place, but Vin Baker was having a conversation on the baseline with the official while the play was going on under his basket.
Baker felt that he was fouled in that last scramble with Jerome Williams and thought he was hit right there by Mikey Moore.
And probably was hit across the right arm.
Grant Hill able to hit the tee. Pistons lead by 3.
But if you notice on that block, the baseline official, the one that he went after on the call, was blocked out. You had the man's body between the official and where the block came from. It was hard for him to see if it hit him on the arm.
Timeout is taken. We'll be back to Seattle in a moment.
$32.75.
Didn't bring my purse.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down. Make it a Bud Light.
It did look good on it.
The world's most beautiful swimsuit models at the most beautiful locations in the world. Sports Illustrated Swimsuit 2000. Online at cnnsi.com. Set your sight on paradise.
Hello? Nope, I haven't heard anything yet. What's your number again? Yeah, I'll definitely call you later. All right, bye.
Sprint Caller ID not only lets you see who's calling, but it also saves callers' names and numbers, just in case you don't. Call 1-877-1-SOLUTION now and get a free display unit. Sprint Caller ID, it just makes more sense.
I'm Richard Levinson of Levinson Axelrod. I'm with one of my more memorable clients, Jerry Freeman.
I was riding my bicycle. I hit a pothole. I had multiple injuries. I came to Levinson Axelrod. From the secretaries to the attorneys, they really care about you, and they get back to you.
If you need us, call 1-800-34-NJ-LAW. Levinson Axelrod. The people that say the nicest things about us are our clients.
A few moments ago, we heard Horace Grant talk about defensive breakdowns and rotations by the Sonics. Let's watch the Pistons' lack of rotations. Payton with the basketball, guarded by John Crotty. At this point right here, John Crotty is being beat off the dribble as Payton comes to the middle of the floor. Help comes from Michael Curry at the top. He's expecting his teammate, Grant Hill, to make the rotation, and then the next man would cover for Hill as he goes out. No rotation takes place. Hill fakes, stays with his own man. There's no way Curry can get back in time as Maxwell drains the 3.
I tell you, the Czar not affected by the back-to-back.
Conditioning.
Very sharp.
It's all conditioning.
Pistons with a 36-33 lead on the Sonics. 6:51 to play in this first half. Lindsey Hunter is back on the floor. Coming on for John Crotty, who did a good job. Detroit outscored Seattle by 4 while Crotty was in action. Here's Hunter, met by Baker on a switch, and a bad pass. Maxwell picked it off. Payton, and Baker right there. Sonics are within one.
It's one of those times where when you come off the bench, the coach is talking to their players back. You have to have your head in the game when you come back in, understand what's going on. Hunter sat for a long time. He comes back out on the floor. First thing that happens, turnover, score for the Sonics.
Grant Hill altered that shot and then is there for the putback. So Hill has 12, comes in averaging better than 26 points per game.
The first shot really wasn't a shot attempt to make it. It was an attempt to draw 2 free throws. And then the offensive rebound, he tried to score.
Lewis being bothered by Williams. Nice pass for Payton.
Well, if Lewis swings elbows like that again and catches Jerome Williams, he's going to wind up with a technical foul.
Detroit with the ball and a 1-point lead. Foul on Maxwell as Stackhouse was trying to cut baseline. Maxwell called for his first.
Let's take a look under the basket. Okay. Here's the curl. No one steps up. Easy layup as a result.
On Hill inbounds. And then Moore returns. Now Hill being played by Patterson, shooting over him and hitting. And Grant Hill, red hot in the second quarter. 6 for 10 overall. He has 14 points for the night.
Well, Hill's a headache enough when you have to play him off the dribble when he's not making jumpers. When he starts making jumpers, you got a tough night ahead of you.
Maxwell for 3. And Baker able to get to it. A beautiful pass to Lewis. Baker with a little look-away pass. Detroit with a 1-point lead. And a defense from the crowd. But a high-energy first half. Stackhouse hits. Gary Stackhouse with 12. He's 5 of 8 from the field. Pistons lead at 42-39. Detroit coming in at 33 and 32 in the number 7 spot of the East. The Sonics at 40 and 27. And now a half game behind Minnesota. Lewis. Minnesota defeating Cleveland in overtime earlier tonight to move a half game over the Sonics. And Seattle 1 game in front of Sacramento. Seattle, incidentally, now 1 for 10 from 3-point range. Stackhouse. Gary Stackhouse pounding that ball, taking it hard to the pocket. And he drew the foul. Foul committed by Maxwell, his second.
Well, he got that first step. He's bigger, stronger than Maxwell. And as tough as Maxwell is, when you give him that first half step, it's tough to recover and keep him out of that area.
Brent Barry and Horace Grant come on, replacing Bernard Maxwell and Ruben Patterson. Patterson leads with 6, as does Maxwell. Coming up Sunday on NBC, it will be a split regional doubleheader beginning at 12 p.m. Eastern Time with NBA Showtime. And then in Game 1, it's the Heat and the Magic or the Sixers and the Pacers. That'll be 12:30 Eastern Time. And then Game 2, the Los Angeles Lakers and the Sacramento Kings or Toronto Raptors and the Minnesota Timberwolves at 6:30 Eastern Time.
Well, if you're looking at some of those scores at the bottom of the screen, there were some great games tonight, and there will be some great games coming up over the next couple weeks as the NBA regular season winds down. And there's so much meaning to all these games with so many teams.
Horace Grant, he has 8 points. Well, the scramble is on for playoff position, and these two clubs playing here tonight are right in the middle of it. They vie for better spots in the top 8. Timeout is taken. 3.5 to go. First half. We'll be right back.
You know, the most amazing things happen to me every time I begin to read. I can fly among the moon and stars. Or I can visit lands both near and far. I've always liked a good mystery. But there are so many things that interest me. And my favorite thing is when it ends, another book starts it all again.
It has high prices. It has a faithful following. Finally, the game has changed. Log on to hoopstv.com.
I need my light.
What light?
The light I ordered on your website.
This isn't the website. This is the store site.
You mean I can't get my light?
Not at this site.
Same store, same lights.
Different system, different sites.
I came in here because I thought I might
Find the same things that were on the website.
Doesn't that seem right?
Now, in hindsight, if the site was tied to the website, then it would be easy for us to give you your light. Excellent insight, Dwight.
Forget it.
Good night.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by hoopstv.com. Log on to hoopstv.com to get your daily basketball fix. If basketball is your religion, hoopstv.com is your church. And by IBM. Are you ready for e-business?
Welcome back to Key Arena in Seattle. Coming to TNT Sunday, April the 2nd at 8 o'clock Eastern Time.
Kevin wants to be a great lawyer. His boss wants his soul. Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino, The Devil's Advocate. Sunday, April 2nd at 8 on TNT.
And Czar, that is an excellent movie.
One of my favorites.
Now, I know the last movie you saw was Dr. Zhivago.
Exactly.
And probably was a rental. Or was it Gone with the Wind?
It's one of those.
Close.
One of those.
3.5 remaining. I know you're very busy. First half, and the Pistons have a 44-41 lead on the Sonics. Christian Laettner is back on the floor. There's Hill for three. Kept alive by Williams. Nice pass from Stackhouse and Laettner. Able to do the rest. What a beautiful pass. Gary Stackhouse wheeling it to Christian Laettner.
And it goes back to the high energy of Jerome Williams. Hustling, staying after it, coming it up, kicking it back out. Second shot opportunity for the Pistons. Find a way to score.
Pistons have played well here on the road in this first half. They're up by 5 points. Rashard Lewis. 8 points for Lewis. And the Detroit lead is 3. Now Stackhouse posting up. Williams off the ball fake. Back for Laettner. Rejected by Lewis. Barry on the run. And fouled by Hunter.
Well, Williams worked real hard, but wound up with nowhere to go. He kicked it off to Laettner. He had nowhere to go, and as a result, the block and then the fast break opportunity. Nowhere to go. Let me drop it off to my partner. Nowhere to go. Here goes a fast break for the Sonics.
The end result, Brent Barry on the line, 80% free throw shooter. Coming up on the AT&T halftime report, just moments away, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Peter Vesey with scores and highlights, including a wild finish in Dallas and several good ones in the Eastern Conference. That's just ahead at halftime. Pistons by 1. 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in this first half. Stackhouse, high speed, and a blocking foul against Seattle. If it's Barry, it is number 3, and it is.
Well, Barry has to get all the way outside that defensive box down low. He didn't quite get there, and I think that's what the official's trying to explain to him right now. Kevin Field, the official who made the call, also the one involved with Vin Baker on the other baseline a few moments back in the game.
So Jerome Williams at the line. is just a 61% free throw shooter. Mikey Moore has come on for Christian Laettner. Jerome Williams goes 6'9", 205 pounds. In his 4th year out of Georgetown as a senior in high school, he was a 6'2" point guard. So he's come a long way.
Well, how about Vin Baker? Vin Baker, grew up as a point guard for a while, was a small forward basically in college, and here he is now playing the center position.
Pistons by 2. And on the turnover, the ball back to Detroit. We're just under 2 minutes remaining first half. Hill leading Williams on a pick and roll. Moore getting a piece of it. And then taken by Barry. Here's Lewis. He has had the touch. 10 points. On 5 of 6 shooting for Rashard Lewis.
He's shooting over 49% for the season from the floor, Lewis.
Oh, uncontested, and then a foul. Brad Hill had a wide open lane coming from the angle, and then faced the contact.
You can see both these teams are really sharp and crisp. They both had a night off yesterday, flashing to the ball. Hill takes it, turns, the defense gambled for the steal and miss. Rotation couldn't get there in time. His opportunity for a three-point play.
Terrific first half for Hill. Look at that stat line. Make it 17 points. So the Pistons lead it by the score of 50-47.
Well, again, this game is no different than the scores we saw flashed up on the screen before. A lot of meaning for both of these teams in this game. So you kind of had the feeling all night this was going to be a good one.
Grant. And Baker able to get the new possession.
TNT Halftime Report was brought to you by AT&T. It's all within your reach.
Wrong house. Go to the next door.
TD Waterhouse, member New York Stock Exchange.
For friendly advice and great savings on your DirecTV system, stop by Circuit City today. You'll get free professional standard installation, a $200 value, when you buy a DirecTV system at Circuit City and subscribe to Total Choice programming. The whole family will enjoy Total Choice with over 95 digital quality channels, including 31 music choice channels. It's all going on right now at Circuit City.
Hi, I'm John Schwartz, a partner with Levinson Axelrod, the personal injury lawyers. And this is Debbie Marzoli, one of my favorite clients.
I had gone to a restaurant and had been served glass in my food. I had to have some major dental work done, so I called Levinson Axelrod, and you addressed my concerns every step of the way.
Thanks, Debbie. And if you've been injured, call Levinson Axelrod at 1-800-34-NJ-LAW. The people who say the nicest things about us are our own clients.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association is intended solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any retransmission, reproduction, rebroadcast, or other use or dissemination of this telecast, or the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Welcome back to Key Arena in Seattle. The Pistons and the Sonics tied at 51 as we make our way to the second half. Marv Albert with Azar, Mike Fratello, along with Cheryl Miller and Mike. High energy, action-packed first half of basketball.
Well, last time out, Stackhouse and Hill burned the Sonics for 58 points between them. Right now, they have 31 points at the half, and they've got it a number of different ways. Transition in the half court. Let's take a look how they start this thing off with Jerry Stackhouse filling in transition on the fast break, and pass from his teammate Grant Hill leads to the easy dunk. Then Stackhouse shows he can back it down and score over the top of the oncoming double team. Hill flashes and bails out his teammate and finishes with the easy layup, but he too, facing up, is knocking down the jump shot. It makes him doubly tough. Stackhouse receiving from Hill, finishing. The teammates looking for each other, playing good transition, fast break basketball.
And there are the numbers. Grant Hill, the high point man, 7 of 12 from the field. 17 points, Jerry Stackhouse with 14. Seattle led by the combination of Baker, Payton, and Lewis, each with 10. Let's check in with Cheryl, who has Seattle coach Paul Westphal with us.
Coach, even though you didn't shoot the ball particularly well, you were still able to keep it close. Your thoughts about the first half?
Well, I'm surprised we have kept it that close. We're 1 for 11 from threes. They're really clogging the paint, and we're going to have to make some of those, so they're going to keep clogging the paint. And then on the other end, I thought they got to the basket too much on us, and we've got to do a better job of keeping them from getting layups and letting them shoot a high percentage again.
All right, Coach, good luck in the second half.
Okay,
let's go back to you, Marv.
Thank you, Cheryl. Seattle shot 41% from the field in the first half, 21 out of 51. Detroit at 50%. They hit 20 for 40. Grant Hill right at the end of the first half felt that Seattle had the advantage off the boards. Actually, the disparity is pretty close. 22-18, Seattle had the edge, but the difference has been on the offensive glass.
Yeah, 11 offensive rebounds. And you're talking about field goal percentage. Normally, Detroit is shooting just over 45% from the floor this season. They're at 50 right now. And, you know, defensive field goal percentage, so important. Seattle giving up normally 45% from the floor. They've given too many easy shots, and a lot of that second effort shots by the Pistons.
Detroit averaging 104 points per game. That's the second most in the NBA, right behind the Sacramento Kings, but they give up 103 per game. So the third quarter is underway. Terry Mills up front with Christian Laettner and Grant Hill, Lindsey Hunter, and Jerry Stackhouse in the backcourt. Shot clock down to 4. Hill for 3. Hunter is right there going glass. Just happened to be in the right spot.
Nice when the ball just drops in your hand. Just standing under the basket for a little banker.
So the Pistons now lead by 2. Gary Payton and Brent Barry open up in the backcourt. Horace Grant, Vin Baker, Ruben Patterson up front. Patterson for the crossover. Offensive foul. Basket will not count.
Well, on the offensive move to the basket, Patterson gets that one big step, but then tries to jump back to his left. The defensive player holds his ground, picks up the charge. Good call.
That's number 3 for Patterson. Pistons swing it effectively, and Hunter hits the 3. Players feel so good after they work the ball around in that manner when it's finished.
Well, Detroit feels good right now because if they get Hunter knocking a few shots down from the outside, it's going to make it a little bit easier.
Another offensive foul. That's 4 personals on Brent Barry.
And Mark Wunderlich started to give the call a block, and then at the last second said, nope, Stackhouse got there in time, had good position, and gave him the charge call.
And a technical foul has been handed out. The tee on Barry, who had a bit too much to say. Jerry Stackhouse will shoot the technical.
And Horace Grant coming over to play peacemaker. He doesn't want Barry to get another one and get thrown out. Wunderlich said, look, just get away. It's over and done. Move on with it from there. Grant, nice job coming over, breaking it up. No sense losing a player over something that you're not going to get changed. Pistons done.
Pistons have done a good job in taking the charge, causing a number of offensive fouls tonight. Detroit has opened up with a 6-0 run here at the start of the third. Hunter lost it. Hunter able to get a piece of it and creates the turnover. Hunter. A reach-in foul called on Lindsey Hunter. He is all over the place here in the third quarter. As we mentioned earlier, Lindsey Hunter's been bothered by pain in his right elbow all season. He says it comes and it goes, but his shooting has been effective. And Hunter coming from behind as he and Mills converge on Barry. Fouls on Mills. That is his second.
Well, Hunter's trying to come out here, I think, with a little extra energy. He's disappointed in the first half. You know, for point guards, they're very concerned about assist-turnover ratio. Well, he had 5 turnovers and 0 assists at the end of the first half.
Pistons looking to run. Sonics got back, but Grant Hill took it to the rim. Here comes Patterson. Baker. Kept alive by Barry. Patterson. The Sonics are 0 for the third quarter. Payton going glass, and that is their first field goal here on the third.
Hunter tried to pick up the charge. No fall. When you're on the ground, it's tough to block a shot from down there.
Traveling violation called on Hill. Two and a half gone by in the third quarter. Seattle Sonics up and down ball club, splitting their last 10 games. Over the last 15, they've won 8, and they have lost 7. Here's Barry. Stackhouse. Both clubs rushing shots here in the third. Barry lost it. Stackhouse, look out. And a blocking foul. Looked like Stackhouse wanted to take it right at Barry to the rim and then was forced wide. That's foul number 5 committed by Barry.
Nice job by Terry Mills. Closes out and gets a deflection right there with his left hand, and that leads to the fast break opportunity. And here the contact as Barry leans into him with that left shoulder.
Brent Barry sitting down, replaced by Vernon Maxwell. It's been a long night for Brent. Just 2 points in the 5 fouls. So the Pistons with a 58-53 lead. Jerry Stackhouse, who made it to the All-Star team this season, having his best year in the NBA after coming over from the Philadelphia 76ers, acquired in that deal involving Eric Montross, Aaron McKee, Theo Ratliff, Baker. It counts, and the foul.
Again, Mills fronting Baker, the lob pass over the top. Grant Hill is the player rotating from the weak side. Grant gets there, but Baker a little bit too big, and then the contact as he goes up on the arm, he'll get the opportunity to finish it off at the foul line.
Foul committed by Mills. Last season, Vin Baker shot 45% from the free throw line. Four-point Detroit lead, and a timeout is called by George Irvin with 8:27 to go in the third. It's the Pistons 59, the Sonics 55.
A community is like a giant puzzle. Every person is a unique piece. Look at Brian Grant. He hosts 25 kids from local rec centers to every Blazers home game.
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
Could you do my hair like that?
Over the season, that comes to 2,000 lives touched. Who knows how many more lives those 2,000 kids will touch in their communities? You see how it all fits together? Team up to improve your community.
I need a car?
There's a whole new way to shop for a used car.
No, a convertible. A red one. With under 15,000 miles.
Introducing Autotrader.com. With 1.5 million used cars updated daily, it's the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
You couldn't help me with a loan, could you? Can we help you?
Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
Where will I
knock on my door. Where will I be when the aces are four? Where will I be when fate asks for a day?
One day, you'll find a place where you know you belong. Will you be ready? Understanding your credit is the first step toward owning a home. Call for the new free guide on credit from the Fannie Mae Foundation and for a list of lenders and credit counselors.
The NBA on TNT, brought to you by the Fannie Mae Foundation, showing America a new way home. And by Autotrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
Well, coming to TNT Sunday, April 9th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
A madman, a visionary, and a knight sworn to defeat impossible foes. Test your courage with Don Quixote, Sunday, April 9th at 8 on TNT.
Just a moment ago during the timeout, Gary Payton very upset with his ball club. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's Mills for three. Leitner able to keep it alive. And Paul Westphal very upset, thought there should have been a loose ball foul.
Yeah, and Paul has a good point there because Leitner put both hands in the back, pushed off as the ball came back over the top.
Shot clock at 6. And Hill is fouled by Rashard Lewis, who just checked in. Well, this is the scene a moment ago during a Seattle timeout.
Well, sometimes the head coach lets the head player take over in policing the team and making the point to the players that, look, we're not doing what we're supposed to do. We've got to get it done. Let's get ourselves together, walk them back out on the floor.
I don't know if you can read lips, but we're told from those close to the Seattle bench, Gary Payton very direct in letting his teammates know that they are not performing the way they should.
I think they understood what he was saying.
So.
Yes.
Pistons up 61 to 55. Seattle has played well at home this season at 21-11. This is game 3 of a 7-game homestand. In the previous 2, they beat Vancouver and then lost Saturday night to Portland by 1. Mills able to get the tip. Here comes Hill, lost the dribble. Payton with Baker. Payton for Baker. And a foul. It's on Mills.
Well, Grant Hill just tried to cross over that time left to right. He lost control of the dribble a little bit, got too far out in front. And in turn, here come the Sonics right back again. Nice lefty dish off, and now Baker tries to finish strong. Mills goes up, challenges ball. Does have his left hand on the body, though, however, as he goes up to get a piece.
Mills trying to make the point that it should have been a tie-up. But picked up his 4th personal. He'll be replaced by Eric Montross. And Baker now 3 for 4 at the line.
That 4th foul comes a little bit too early as far as Detroit is concerned for Mills. They're going to need him on the floor in the 4th quarter. You have 7.5 minutes to go here. He's got his 4th one already. So now Montrose has to come out, give them some quality minutes out here on the floor.
Lewis with the steal. A beautiful play by Rashard Lewis.
Nice defensive play by the young man.
Here's Baker. And Leitner with a good box out on Grant. Christian Leitner has picked up his game. He's played very well the last 3 or 4 contests, averaging 15 points, 12 rebounds, shooting over 60% from the field. There's George Irvin, the interim head coach of the Pistons in his 8th game since taking over for Alvin Gentry. And the Pistons have gone 5-2 over the first 7. Stackhouse, Baker, Maxwell on a breakaway, fumbled it, and lost it.
Well, I think Vernon was starting to look for someone to drop it off to. He knew that Stackhouse was chasing him down from behind. As he turned to look to see who was coming on his team, he loses the handle. It goes off his hands and out of bounds.
Seattle with their 5th turnover this 3rd quarter. 6.5 remaining. And Detroit gives it right back.
Turn around, fair play.
Gary Payton trying to catch the Pistons in a low, but they recover. What a beautiful stroke by Rashard Lewis. He has 13 points. He's 6 for 7 from the field, and the Sonics are within 2. Gary Payton going toe-to-toe with Lindsey Hunter. Oh, Hill off the crossover, setting it up for Montross.
Rashard, welcome to Gordon Grant Hill and finding out what it's all about.
Payton. And they get the new 24. Here's Lewis. Montross had it knocked away, but recovered by Stackhouse. Leads Leitner. Fires one up. And we go end to end. Lewis on the hop for Maxwell, and he's fouled. Vernon Maxwell shaken up. Vernon Maxwell, who's made it back from arthroscopic knee surgery, taking his time.
Right there at the end, Hunter comes over the top. Maxwell planting that knee as he comes back down. Just takes a moment to gather himself. Reaches down, feels that knee that was worked on.
Oh, my God!
This is Greg Foster checking back in. Played briefly in the first half, just a couple of minutes. Jerome Williams, who played very well in the first half, now checking in, replacing Eric Montross. Mikey Moore is back, second-year player out of Nebraska. So Williams up front, along with Moore. The Sonics are down by 1. Point has led by as many as 6. And again, a turnover. Lewis with room. Nice save. Payton. Payton on it again. Maxwell for 3. A lot of bricks being thrown up here in the third quarter. Oh, beautiful play by Maxwell to break it up. And a foul on Moore of Detroit.
Moore had the right idea. He knew his teammate was out in front. He tried to catch and dish it across to the left-hand side. Problem is, 7-footers usually aren't real good at leading fast breaks, Mark.
And the Pistons have just picked up team foul number 5. Mikey Moore, though, providing lots of energy for Detroit and getting the playing time once again tonight. George Irvin telling us earlier that he has been using Moore on a regular basis. Vernon Maxwell still making his way back from the knee surgery. Usually a solid foul shooter, so a little rust out there for Vernon.
Vernon went down, had a little talk with the stanchion under the basket. Now he's fine. He comes back and try and make this next one.
Apparently they came to terms. John Crotty, who played well in the first half, has checked back in. So the game is tied at 61. 6 unanswered for the Sonics. Stackhouse. Pass saved by Moore. Shot clock at 5. Here comes Hill. Beautiful pass for Williams. Red Hill setting it up for Jerome Williams.
Well, you see some nice movement by Detroit. They pass and they cut through. They pass and they cut through. And they try and catch that moment when they're one-on-one players. The guys who can put it on the floor, Stackhouse, Hill, and break it down off the dribble. Get that seam, and we saw it right there. Hill with the shot clock running down. Gets the seam, dumps it off.
There's Payton. Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in the third. Moore has good hands. Nice catch, not able to hit. Williams in a battle with a couple of Sonics, and a foul is called, or was it deflected out? Apparently last touch by Jerome Williams. and Maxwell at the guard. Lewis up front with Grant and Foster. And a holding foul charged with Crotty. Detroit is over at the limit. Payton will go to the line.
It's going right now down inside, trying to post up Payton against Crotty. And as a result, if Detroit comes in double teams, Seattle swings the ball. Got a couple guys who can knock down shots from the outside. In particular, we're talking about Vernon Maxwell from the three-point line.
Looking ahead next Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, the San Antonio Spurs will be here in Seattle. That'll be seen on TBS. Next Tuesday night, a doubleheader on TNT once again. In the first game, it's the Knicks and the Sacramento Kings starting at 8 in the East, and then the Spurs and the Blazers. Jelani McCoy making his first appearance of the night. Second-year player from UCLA coming on for the first time. Sonics and Pistons tied at 63. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Cheryl Miller from Key Arena in Seattle. Stackhouse lost it. Maxwell knocking it away. Crotty on the recovery. Here's Williams. And he drew the foul.
Boy, we see guys really putting it out here tonight. They're on the floor. They're on the glass. Second and third effort. It's a very physical game. A lot of athletes out here.
Foul on McCoy.
Well, almost a steal there. Now Stackhouse tries to recover. Comes up with a handle. Could have been a foul there. But then Crotty with the penetration. And then Williams just relentless in going to the rim.
Jerome Williams, 2 out of 4 at the line. He has 10 points, 8 rebounds. The Detroit Pistons in the number 7 spot in the East. They're a game and a half behind the Charlotte Hornets, 2.5 in front of the number 8 seed, Orlando. While Seattle at 40-27, now a half game behind Minnesota. The Timberwolves beating Cleveland earlier tonight. And they're 1 game in front of Sacramento, 2 behind San Antonio. The Spurs losing to the Dallas Mavericks earlier this evening. McCoy lost the dribble, but deflected out. Last touch by the Pistons.
And you can see that by Detroit extending its defense, trapping Payton in the backcourt. The ball winds up in McCoy's hands with 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and they were yet to get in their offense.
Payton battling his way on Crotty and somehow able to release the shot.
And George Irvin's looking over at the official saying, now, how did he do that without picking up that pivot foot, dragging it to get a shot on?
16 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists for Payton. Michael Curry for Christian Laettner. John Crotty. Crotty has 5 points, and the Pistons lead 67-65. Payton steps back. Crotty closing the baseline on Payton, so he had to go to the step back jump shot.
Now you're coaching. Coaching tonight as well.
That's an observation. Stackhouse for 3. And McCoy on the box out. Down to 2 minutes remaining in the third. Crotty went down and Payton to the left hand.
Gary Payton showing us all the moves. A lot of pullbacks, a lot of spin dribbles. Crotty trying to take the charge. Payton changes hands, banks it off the glass.
Crotty.
Got a feeling it's coming again. That Crotty from Payton. Get ready.
And Payton this time can't hit. Here comes Crotty. Look away pass for Curry.
That was some shot that time by Michael Curry. He had to come back on the other side of the rim. He was falling down, still had to get it back up over the top of the rim and convert.
And again, Payton, this time he beat Crotty off the dribble, but Jerome Williams was there to help. Pistons by 2. Curry taking it at Foster and a foul.
And he caught Foster starting to rotate out, thinking that he was going to pull up for the jump shot. Crossed over with a little hesitation dribble through the foul.
A minute 6 remaining in the third.
A madman, a a visionary, and a knight sworn to defeat impossible foes.
Stand your ground and fight!
Test your courage with John Lithgow in Don Quixote. World premieres Sunday, April 9th at 8 on TNT.
Until now, there has been a wall between you and the tools of serious trading. That wall is coming down. The information and technology professionals use to trade is now available to everyone. Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
People of Earth, do not be alarmed.
The Muppets are landing in your home. Kermit, Miss Piggy, Rizzo the Rat, Fozzie, and their friends answer the question that's on everyone's mind. Where did Gonzo come from?
I'm from outer space!
Go in for an out-of-this-world family adventure, Muppets from Space.
I wonder if there really is life on other planets. You don't have a life on this planet. Oh!
Movies you want when you want to see them. In demand, you rule.
Move it, Rover.
Yeah, we're gonna watch the game.
Hey, Joey, wake up. Huh? Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, the girls are here. Hello, ladies. Come in.
Hi, girls.
Come on in. Join us.
We brought drinks.
Hi, Charlene.
Hi, Austin. Don't be shy, Charlene. Join in. Okay. Your color goes so well with the Boston.
No Gary Payton, we'll be in the lottery. You know, it's simple as that. We still have talent, but without Gary Payton, the guy can score. He plays defense like I haven't seen in years. He gets his team ready to go out there and play. You know, I might be a little biased, but, you know, he got my vote for MVP.
Oh, he makes a pretty good point. The guy's only ranked in 5 categories in the top 10. He's first in minutes played, first in three-point field goals made. He's third in assists. He's 7th in scoring at 23-9 and 9th in steals overall.
And Gary Payton has been on a roll as of late. Had that 40-point game last week in Vancouver. He's been doing it in every category, playing a lot of minutes. 1:06 left in the third. Pistons up by 2. Curry takes it right to the bucket. Michael Curry, the guy that coaches love, valuable team player, signed as a free agent back to Detroit after a couple of years with Milwaukee. Foster open. So the Detroit ball, they're up by 4. John Crotty, who has that unusual release, put together a solid game here tonight. You had him with the Cavaliers.
Yeah, and he's one of the best you can get in a practice situation, in a team situation with the clock running down. Hill has to get the ball up on the glass. Violation. It did not hit the rim. But getting back to Crotty, he stays every day after practice. He'll stay 45 minutes an hour. He'll grab 5 other teammates, and they play 3-on-3. I call him the all-time champion of the 3-on-3 league. He's the leading scorer, the leading rebounder. He's hustling all over the place, and he gets other guys to stay and work that need to do it. He's a terrific team guy.
John Crotty, who has spent time with Portland, Seattle, Miami, Cleveland, Utah. Brent Barry is back on the floor. 15 seconds remaining in the third. Payton played by Crotty as he works the clock down. Payton got the step. Gary Payton with 3 seconds remaining in the third brings the Sonics within 2. All right, here comes Crotty racing the clock. Jerome Williams got it off in time, but it came up short. That is the end of the third quarter. Not a good shooting quarter. Detroit just 6 of 19, and Seattle 6 for 22. The Pistons lead 71-69 as we head to the fourth.
Why on
on earth would an airline remove rows of seats from all their planes? Oh, that's why. American Airlines introduces more room throughout coach. Soon, we'll have more room for more coach passengers than any other airline, row after row after row. On American, coach has more class.
Whatever life throws your way, you gotta be ready. Hey, no sweat. You've got new Speed Stick Clear Stick, a whole new kind of clear antiperspirant. Clear Stick goes on dry to keep you dry, clear through a guy's day. Gels go on wet, but new Clear Stick goes on clear and dry. And dry, clearly, is the whole idea. New Speed Stick Clear Stick goes on dry, keeps you dry.
You know, we might get hounded by fans out here. I am David Duvall.
Oh, hey.
Yo, guys! Here we go.
Is that AT&T one-rate 7-cent plan good all the time?
Yes, it is.
Thanks.
Hey.
There are no time restrictions?
7 cents all day, every day.
Well, that's a heck of a plan, Dave.
Hey, phone guy! That's unfortunate.
7 cents a minute, all day, every day.
Excuse me.
It's all day, every day.
Hey, stick to the golf, huh?
A little stress? Bet us online investors aren't helping your blood pressure.
Online? I'm on Wall Street, a professional.
My online broker lets me see stock quotes the same way they see them at the exchange.
You do not see them continuously, not as the market's moving.
Actually, I do. Say ah.
Ah.
That's why Daytech calls it streamer.
Streamer?
Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
So, book it off the bus, pick out the car they want, and be on their way in seconds.
We'll call it Fast Break, our fastest way to rent a car.
Can we get people from the airport to their car quicker? We can if we give everyone jet propulsion packs.
Back open the bleeder valve and fill the tank to 800 psi. What?
I like the Fast Break idea.
That's a great idea. I like that one. Okay, let's go with that one. Wow.
Back in Seattle, Czar, here's tonight's budget fast break.
And we see the Pistons, who have gotten out and run extremely well, 13-8 advantage there, and that's part of the reason why they're shooting 44%. Seattle's shooting only 37%, and both teams being led by their leaders, Hill and Payton, with 19 and 20, respectively.
And Vin Baker getting ready for the fourth quarter. I know you had to fight off a couple of Sonics at halftime to
get over to the machine. I was trying to get over there just for a quick workout.
Pistons lead 71-69 as the fourth quarter gets started. Rashard Lewis. Gary Payton again to the post-up. Nice pass. Grant lost it. So the ball back to Detroit. Gary Payton has scored the Sonics' last 6 points. This is the second and final meeting between these two clubs. Pistons winning back in mid-November at the Palace, 107-99. Leitner with the tip. In that earlier game, Gary Payton had 30 points. Grant Hill had 34. This is actually the 100th meeting of all time between Detroit and Seattle. Sonics lead the series 51-48, and Seattle has won the last 8 of 9 here at home. Payton changed his mind, picked off by Curry.
And Payton, I think, thought Lewis was going to cut to that open spot, and instead Lewis backed out and turned away.
Grant Hill has come so far with the outside shot. Another one-time Duke captain, Chip England, working with Grant during the offseason, and it has paid dividends. Here's Curry for three. Been a long night for Brent, but in foul trouble. 1 of 5 from the field. That is his first field goal. Pistons lead at 75-72. Neither club doing much damage from downtown. Shot clock at 5. Hill over Lewis. Once again, Grant Hill from the perimeter. He has 23 points, and the Pistons lead by 5.
You see Lewis giving him a little room, but that's part of their game plan. They want Hill to have to raise up and shoot jump shots. They don't want him putting it on the floor, creating for other people, putting the guys in foul trouble on the Sonics team.
Payton lost it. Foul is called. Payton tried to get it back. That's his first. So 2 minutes, 3 seconds gone by here in the fourth, and a timeout is taken.
I'm serious. Whenever guys find out I have a cat, they freak.
You kidding me? I love cats.
Of course, my cat's not like other cats.
Well, sure he isn't.
He gets so jealous if anyone drinks my Bud Light. Anyway, I'll go get changed.
You're right. Stupid cats.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Look at you, too.
Make it a Bud Light.
West. Jim West.
From out of the West and into your home.
Whoa! That was fun.
Pay-per-view action comedy at its best.
When you tell this story to your grandkids, you make sure you leave this part out.
Will Smith is in demand. Kevin Kline is incognito. Order in the television premiere of Wild Wild West.
Sure, I'm glad we got that cleared up.
In demand, top hits, no waiting, you rule.
I'm Richard Levinson of the law firm of Levinson Axelrod. With me is one of my favorite clients, Peggy Rock.
An armored truck came up from behind me and just plowed right into me. You handled the case just wonderful. You don't just treat people as clients, you treat us as friends, and that's the best.
If you need us, call us at 1-800-34-NJ-LAW. The people that say the nicest things about us are our clients.
Welcome back to Key Arena in Seattle. The Pistons with a 77-72 lead on the Sonics. And there is Lazaro Burrell, who was reactivated just the other day, been on the injured list with tendonitis of the right knee. He is a Seattle Sonic by way of the Cuban national team. He defected last July while the Cuban team was in Puerto Rico for the pre-Olympic tournament of the Americas. Last year played in Argentina, averaged 21 points per game. He did appear in 7 games earlier this season for the Sonics.
And Paul Westphal said he's a pretty good player. It's just that he's not in a situation right now to be experimenting when they're trying to win games and get positioning here for the playoffs coming up.
He was reactivated with Emmanuel Davis suffering damaged facial nerve, Bell's palsy type symptoms. There's Hill on the follow. Grant Hill with 25. Pistons by 7. It's their biggest lead of the night. As Baker put the move on Leitner, he was tripped up. Christian Leitner collects his third.
Leitner knows that if he lets Baker get down too low, he's just going to get overpowered and Baker's going to go up over the top. So that time he gambled on the reverse. He could get a piece of the ball and deflect it from behind. He lost the gamble.
Paul Westphal staying with Brent Barry, who a moment ago hit his first field goal, hit the 3. Oh, Baker with a beautiful move around Leitner and then fouled by Williams.
Leitner just needs to get back to playing right now. He's got himself out of it, worried too much about talking to the officials about a call that happened a minute or so ago. He's not going to get a change. Get back, help your team win a basketball game.
Ben Baker back to the line, 3 of 5 at the foul line. Seattle has been a very poor free throw shooting team, just 14 of 23 the other night in the loss to the Trailblazers. Terry Mills coming on for Jerome Williams. Paul Westphal, who says it is all uphill for us to get home court. It'll be tough, but it'll put the pressure on the Sonics in that first round of the playoffs. Detroit with the ball and a 6-point lead. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth. Stackhouse keeping it alive. They get the new 24. Now Hill working against Patterson, able to beat him off the dribble, and the tip. Grant Hill so good at putbacks and tips.
And he's so quick around the rim. First he beats you on a reverse spin. This is the shot, but he's right back there with the tip in. Second effort.
So the Pistons extend to an 8-point lead. Baker with a backdoor pass. Another Seattle turnover. Here's Mills for three. Both clubs struggling from downtown. Patterson. Ruben Patterson has 8 points. And the Pistons lead by 6.
And Terry Mills shaking his head, really upset, because he knows that's where he can contribute, help his team at the offensive end of the floor. Getting a wide open three like that, he makes that shot on a regular basis.
Stackhouse pass picked off. He had no angle. Here comes Payton, stopped by Hunter. And the foul call.
Lindsey Hunter taking the foul out away from the basket before Payton can get close enough to get the 2 free throw opportunities. That'll be Hunter's 4th personal foul.
And 13th foul called on the Pistons. Barry and Payton in the backcourt. Baker, Grant, Patterson up front. 7.5 remaining in the 4th. Payton drawing the double. Baker, yes. The Detroit lead is down to 4.
Actually, Payton almost drew a triple team that time because Mills started to come back and left his man open.
Payton picking up his 9th assist. Here's Stackhouse. Mills. Pistons 83 of the Sonics 77.
You had Leitner, Mills, Horace Grant, Baker, and Barry all jumping for the ball. And Barry wound up in the first row of the stands coming out of that pack.
Baker. The ball over the top. So it goes back to Detroit, but first, timeout called. 6 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the 4th. The Pistons lead it by 6.
Your car's been in an accident, and the repairs are taking too long. The problem's not your body shop, it's your insurance company. I can't fix cars, but I can cut the red tape, so my customers get their cars back faster. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
Life has its bumps, but you don't have to feel them. Now Midas Gold struts with R2 technology are only $59.95 each with a lifetime guarantee. Go smoothly. Go Midas.
What was that?
A Butterfinger, Grandpa.
Well, stop it.
Okay.
I said stop it!
I did.
Then help me pop my knee back in.
Crispity, peanut buttery taste. Bite my Butterfinger.
From a backyard hoop to their school gym, that's where 2 balls started for Zach and Kim. They pick their spots and make their shots in just 60 seconds. They can get red hot, get red hot. Their teamwork won from city to city. Passing and shooting had them sitting pretty. Zach and Kim might have started small, but to prove that anyone can win it all. NBA 2-ball, that's NBA 2-ball. Take the shot.
Kevin just wants to be a great lawyer. His boss just wants his soul. Keanu Reeves, Al Pacino, The Devil's Advocate. Sunday, April 2nd at 8 on TNT.
Back in Seattle, Detroit with the 83-77 lead on Seattle, and a very strong finish for Grant Hill. 8 of his 27 points coming here in the 4th quarter.
Well, you can see he felt he got it going. In transition, the pull-up jump shot. In half court, you back off as a defender, pull-up jump shot. He gets you one-on-one, the crossover, and then he's to the front of the rim, but the second effort there on the follow-up for Grant Hill. Once he felt he had a goal by knocking down the first jump shot, felt real good about himself at that point.
Grant having a career season, making it to his 5th All-Star game. 3rd in scoring in the NBA. Coming up on 6.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. Now Payton picked up by Stackhouse. Shot clock down to 4. Payton for 3. Boy, the three-point shooting has been horrendous for both teams.
Payton has 20 points right now, but he's 8 for 21 from the floor.
Mills again open for 3. This time knocks it down.
Yeah, he's talking to himself because he was unhappy the last time he was wide open. And Grant Hill did a nice job. He got the ball a little bit deeper into the paint, made the defense collapse, then threw back out to Terry Mills spotting up.
Terry Mills, a 40% shooter from three-point land. Leitner able to clutch it. So Pistons back to the offense. They lead by 9. Stackhouse. That was a three-point attempt. Lewis able to get to it, bothered by Leitner. Barry hesitating, not shooting the 3. Payton hits. So the Pistons lead 86-79. The Detroit Pistons have won 5 of their last 7. Playing the second game of a 5-game road trip. They stopped an 11-game losing streak on the road by opening up with a victory in Vancouver. Hill got the step. Hill on the tip again.
Hill beat Lewis, had Horace Grant running at him from the front, and had Gary Payton running from behind. Missed the initial shot, got the second shot.
Hill has 29. Here's Baker. Nice move by Vin Baker. Pistons 88. The Sonics 81. Detroit will talk it over. Timeout is called by George Irvin. 4 minutes, 24 seconds to go in the fourth. We'll be right back.
They come to us for many reasons. Because we save them money on what they need with their everyday low price. Because we help them solve their problems and get them back on the road. And because we stand behind the parts we sell with a warranty that's good at more than 2,500 stores coast to coast. Fact is, people everywhere come to us because we're AutoZone, the largest auto parts retailer in America. And there's just no place any better.
Until now, there has been a wall between you and the tools of serious trading. That wall is coming down. The information and technology professionals use to trade is now available to everyone. Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
To be the best takes strength, speed, endurance. The best way to cure athlete's foot has it all. Lamisil AT. Strength, full prescription strength to stop the itching and burning. Speed, these take 4 weeks of treatment to kill the fungus. Only Lamisil AT cures athlete's foot with just 1 week's use. Endurance, a study showed most users were still athlete's foot free 3 whole months later. Get it all in Lamisil AT, the best way to cure athlete's foot.
A few moments ago, we'll show you a nice job of execution by the Pistons, and in particular, Grant Hill, having understanding of where the defense is and what he can do. As he puts it down on the floor, sure, he could throw it to Terry Mills right now, but Hill's eyes are on this defender. He knows if he takes the ball a little bit deeper, it's going to freeze that defender and then give Mills, his teammate, more time to get the three-point shot off. Take it deep, freeze the defensive guy in the lane, and then there's no way they can rotate out in time to the three-point line to stop Terry Mills.
And you like the timeout taken by George
Yeah, very
Irvin.
much so. Good timeout that time by George Irvin. He felt things were slipping away at the offensive end of the floor. They had lost what they were trying to do. Good time to regroup. Sonics had come down, scored a couple times on him, so he takes the timeout and tries to reorganize his team at the offensive end.
Grant Hill able to pull it back. Fighting Hunter for 3. Mills with the offensive rebound. So they get the new possession. 4 minutes remaining in the fourth. Pistons with the ball, and they're up by 7. Tripping foul as Stackhouse hit by Payton. On the offensive glass in this fourth quarter, the Pistons with 7 rebounds, the Sonics with none. And Grant Hill with 6 offensive boards in this fourth quarter. And a variety of tips. Here's Hill. It has been a sensational game for Grant Hill. He has 31. He has 12 of the 31 here in the fourth. Also has 11 rebounds and 8 assists.
Yeah, nice job. He knew that Payton was going to go for the swipe, so he got that ball way out in front of him as Gary went for the reach. He tried to steal it. The ball was all the way too far out in front.
Payton had nowhere to go, and then Baker fouled.
Somehow, some way, he found a way to pass that ball off inside. But last time down for Hill, he knows that because Payton's small, he's going to try something to get it before the ball gets up. Watch Payton go for the swipe, and Hill step through. Payton doesn't want to get the foul. A long stride gets him a clean look at the front of the rim.
Foul was called on Mills. That his 5th. So Vin Baker back to the line. He's 4 for 7 at the line. And Vin Baker hearing the boos from the crowd, struggling at the foul line tonight. Jerome Williams replacing Terry Mills. Leads with 5 points. Grant Hill, the high man, with 31. Jerry Stackhouse with 17. Oh, Vin Baker's. It's a flashback to a year ago when he shot 45% at the free throw line.
Well, he's up at 69% right now, but when you start hearing the people in your own building booing you at the free throw line, it plays games with your mind.
Stackhouse. Payton finding Barry. Rick Barry thought he was fouled by Lindsey Hunter. Pistons lead by 7. Here's the double on Hunter. 2:45 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Sonics need a stop right here. Payton nearly picked it off.
I think Paul Westphal has a little bit of confidence in Lewis. He has him playing Hill. Then he switches on to Stackhouse, and for a brief moment there, he had Lindsey Hunter coming down in transition. A lot of confidence in the young man.
Shot clock at 6. Hunter. The big bucket by Lindsey Hunter. Able to go straight down the lane to give the Pistons a 92-83 advantage. Here's Lewis for 3. Crowd getting a little impatient with the Sonics, who are down by 9. And a foul is called. Foul committed by Maxwell. Horace Grant off the bench. He will come on. For the Sonics, their 3rd team foul. Pistons have 4. Here's Horace. Baker sits down. This would be a terrific road win for the Detroit Pistons to have had their problems on the road. Hunter kicks it out. Stackhouse. Shot clock at 5. Stackhouse takes to the rim. And Paul Westphal calling for time.
Well, that's the way to attack the rim. He saw that opening. It opened up like the sea. He got to the front of the rim. No question he was finishing that one off.
A minute and 50 to go in this fourth quarter, and the Pistons have their biggest lead of the night.
In our family, men lose their hair early.
Thank you.
By the time we hit 30, we don't have to invest much in combs. So I started using Rogaine when I was like 28, at the first sign of fallout. Before I looked like I needed it, because I knew I would. So here I am. I've been using Rogaine for about 2 years now, right at the source of the problem, and I don't see any difference. And that's the idea. You keep the hair you have. Look, I love my dad. I'm just not in a rush to look like him.
Simple, safe, smart. Rogaine. It's stronger than heredity.
I am an American soldier. I am a member of the United States Army.
You are my brother. You are my sister. You are brave.
And full of courage.
You're my son. You are my daughter.
You're a peacekeeper. I am proud of my country and its flag.
You stand tall. You make me proud. You keep your promises.
keep me safe.
You're my hero.
And you keep freedom alive.
For I am an American soldier.
In a world of vicious rivalries and violent betrayals.
Trisha, I can't have you hanging with Chew's boy.
What the hell were you doing? We're in the middle of a damn war.
Only one thing is certain.
Sorry, Romeo. I'm taking your most valued asset.
Romeo must die.
That was a mistake.
Romeo must die. Rated R. Starts tomorrow at a theater near you.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Sacramento Kings down 3 going to the fourth quarter against Washington, but outscore them 26-11 to put the game away. Tony Delk with the late dunk, 98-86 the final. The Kings have won 3 in a row. The Wizards have their 3-game winning streak snapped. Mitch Richmond, 26 points he finishes with in his return to Arco Arena. More on Inside the NBA, which happens to be Marvin Mike's favorite show.
All right, thank you, Ernie. A win by Sacramento, a loss by Seattle would put them in a tie for the number 7 and 8 spot in the Western Conference. Here's Barry for 3, and a loose ball foul against the Sonics. Foul committed by Horace Grant. 1:45 remaining in the fourth, and the Pistons with the ball and a 94-83 lead.
You know, we talked coming out of the half, how was Seattle able to stay even with the Pistons shooting as poorly as they did? We said second shot opportunities, 11-6 offensive rebounds. Well, in the fourth quarter thus far, Detroit 7 offensive rebounds, Sonics none.
And Seattle not getting the shots up, 6 of 11 from the field as Stackhouse draws the foul, while Detroit 11 for 22, so they have attempted 11 more shots than Paul Westfall's ball club. Foul on Lewis, that is his 4th, so Stackhouse to the line. Coming up next on Inside the NBA, presented by Hyundai, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, Peter Vesey with scores and highlights, plus a look back at that wild finish in Dallas between the Mavericks and the Spurs, and a look at the action tonight in the Eastern Conference. Payton and a leaping Jerome Williams able to haul it down.
Jerome Williams 14 rebounds in the game thus far, coming off the bench 25 minutes.
A very impressive performance by the Detroit Pistons. George Irvin, the interim head coach, will go to a record of 6-2. Once again, Grant Hill. A brilliant all-around game for Hill. 33 points, 14 here in the fourth quarter. Lewis for 3. Ricard Lewis with 16. Pressure employed by the Sonics. Stackhouse able to come up with it. Stackhouse taking all the way and fouled by Lewis.
Understand time and score. Time and score. You're up in the game right now by 11 points. You've got 44 seconds remaining. You don't need to go challenge all the time to the front of the rim. Good time maybe to back it out, run some clock. You're going to have to foul or you're going to run it out.
And here is Lazaro Burrell coming on. This is 8th game of the season. Javon Williams, second-year man from North Carolina, also checking in. There is Burrell. We talked about him earlier. The Seattle Sonic by way of the Cuban national team. Looking for his first points in the NBA. This is Williams. Williams, no hesitation off the bench and able to hit.
I think it's you with Williams. Whenever you're around, yes, he gets immediately on fire.
Lewis with the steal and a foul on Hunter. Yes, it seems whenever we have broadcast a Seattle Sonic game, Javon Williams has had the touch. Played 4 years at North Carolina. Originally a second-round pick of the Chicago Bulls. Traded to Atlanta.